Well, Bitcoin has stabilized at almost exactly $14 a coin. I'm tired of waiting for a jump. So I'm taking the loss and getting my cash back.
I wish I had kept my 1,700 Bitcoin at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents. They are at $8.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day. Bitcoin, however, getting rejected at that $36,000 level, putting in yet another lower high, sparking fears once again in the market that Bitcoin could be retesting those low 30,000s, as in 30,000, maybe even 29, 28, or potentially going even lower. We have lots of fear. We have guys like Garrett Soloway, Robert Kiyosaki, different hedge funds calling for Bitcoin to 20K, saying they're not even going to buy until it hits the 20,000s again. So is it really as bad as it sounds? Are we truly entering a bear market for Bitcoin? We have had a bearish trend. We have been putting in lower high after lower high, lower low after lower low. So we cannot deny that things are looking grim for Bitcoin. What I want to focus on today is extremely important. If you're going to watch one of my videos from start to finish, today is the day. This is going to be a very important episode, and we are going to talk about everything that you need to know about Bitcoin's current situation. How likely is it for Bitcoin to actually pump from these levels? Could we actually be looking to retest some of the highs, or are we unfortunately going to fall down to these levels that all of these guys are talking about? And the reason that I want to bring this to you today is because, unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to be around for the next 5 days. I know I'm actually going to be traveling, visiting family. I don't know if I'll be able to get a video out. I will try my best, but if you guys do want to follow me on a social network where I can actually get content out faster, check me out over on Twitter at the CryptoZombie. I'll be tweeting, while I'm gone if you guys want more of those updates, or you can go in the Telegram group. But like I said, guys, stick around to the end of this video. We are going to leave no stone unturned. And by the end of this, you will truly understand exactly what is happening for Bitcoin. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do if you're not subscribed. Definitely consider it. And let's get into the most important part. Everyone is asking about what is happening with Bitcoin. So what is happening with Bitcoin at the time of making this video, it could be different by the time you're watching, we are falling below the 50 exponential moving average. That is this pink line, this purple line right here in the center. Okay, you could see we clearly lost this 21 exponential, which is the green line. It had held us up for pretty much the entire rally. Once we lost it, man, we fell straight through it, right? We fell straight through, and we have been supported. Now, what keeps happening every single week is, we have this crazy wick to the downside. The bears step back in, they buy up the asset, we close above the 50 EMA, but every single week we keep pushing down. There is selling pressure, there is fear, there is very low volume right now, right? Which is not really good. When you have moves, you want to see volume. We're not getting volume right now. We're not really seeing the interest. Retail traders are buying right now, but retail doesn't have enough gunpowder to really move these markets, unfortunately. And what is happening right now? We are falling below. The next level of support is around $30,800, and that would be the 50 EMA, and losing that could be very worrisome. Now, putting these lines back on the chart, you can see right here that we are still in this channel. Now, we do know that Bitcoin likes to follow these trend lines. It likes to bounce around. For example, you could see up here, we bounced around in this channel for a little bit, but arguably the most important channel that we formed started way back in March of last year when we had the COVID crash and Bitcoin was just chugging along, putting in higher highs, higher lows. We finally broke out of it, bounced around, and we did have our, Wyckoff distribution at the top and the sell-off. And you could see right here that if we were to lose these levels and fall down to this level right here, that puts us right around that $24,000, $25,000 level. Now, would that be bearish for Bitcoin? Well, it certainly would not be very nice. It wouldn't be very pleasant short term, but we would still actually be putting in an uptrend. And as long as we didn't fall, lower than that, then you could argue that yes, we are still in the trend and the trend is your friend on the weekly. However, zooming in, the daily looks like crap, okay? The daily Bitcoin chart looks absolutely horrible, which brings me to this interview with Garrett Soloway. Now, if you don't know who he is, he actually pretty accurately called the Bitcoin top Probably should have gave him a little more attention when he was giving those warning signs. But this guy, he's been trading traditional assets for over a decade. He's a successful investor. So he talks about Bitcoin, and he says that there's a potential for Bitcoin to go up to $50,000, but he doesn't see it going any higher than that. And more likely than that is that we actually fall below these levels and head on down to the low $20,000 range. So the thing that is most important as far as moving averages are concerned is this 200 daily moving average. And you can see right now that is sitting at around $43,359. So ultimately, that really is the level that the bulls need to get above. Anything below this, even if we have a 10% pump, whatever it is, if we don't break above this, all we are doing is continuing to just trend downwards and sideways, right? Now, if we actually put this on, you could see we had some major resistance right here where we had this support, right? Bitcoin was bouncing off it. And then, after we had all these bounces right here, we came down. We actually have a blood diamond forming right now, and it is at the resistance. So things are looking very grim for Bitcoin. The other thing to note is if we zoom out and we actually have a look at the VPVR in these major ranges right here, which is right above my head, you see this red line. You can actually see that that was sort of the point of control in this move for Bitcoin right here. And it was acting actually as all of these closes for our candles during this consolidation. However, right now, we are falling below it. We are falling below that level of demand, right, guys? So that is not good for Bitcoin. We're also seeing the dollar index still pumping today. We know that Bitcoin and the dollar have these inverse correlations. I am anticipating a pullback at around this resistance level right here for the dollar. If we do break through this, that could be very bad for Bitcoin. We have seen this critical level right here on the CME futures chart that needs to hold at around 31,355 on CME futures. Losing this level could potentially have us fall down to that $24,000 level, which this is even more mind-blowing, guys. If we actually come way back over to here to the week of December 24th of 2020, Bitcoin actually put in a futures gap. Now, I know a lot of people talk about these futures gaps, they're memes, they don't matter. Well, in my history of looking at charts, for some strange reason, whether or not it is just simply because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Everybody's looking at it, so it just ends up happening anyway. We do have a gap down here. Now, we do also have a gap all the way up at $60,000, but let's be honest, we're a lot closer to this gap down here at around 24,600. So we have seen the money flow in the red right here. Although, yes, you could argue that the momentum has been moving to the upside. The money has been falling. The interest has been falling. The volume has been falling. The price has been falling, right? These are all signs of a bearish market. Now, this does not mean that, that Bitcoin is dead. I mean, no, guys, this has happened so many times for Bitcoin in the past. As you can see right here, though, as far as the short-term trade analysis that I spoke about yesterday, I don't like the fact that this momentum wave is as big as it is. It does look like it's a larger move than anticipated. So if you are looking to long this, essentially, we need to have a bounce at around 32,398. Or 32,614. So kind of anywhere in this region right here is where Bitcoin needs to bounce, because if we can't, then we're going to fall out of this giant formation. And I highly doubt we're going to go sideways any longer, because Bitcoin usually doesn't stay in these consolidations for more than 70%. And this is looking closer to 85, 90%. So if that is the case, then you're talking last levels for the bears. Last levels for the bulls, 31,000, 30,000. And then, yes, my friends, we are looking to fall to some of these lower levels. And as you can see, we do have a downtrend that's being put in. If we take this lower low, even down to the wicks, you could see that there is a trend, which if Bitcoin gets rejected, could end up finding its way all the way down here again. And if we even just bounce slowly, we would still end up hitting that $25,000 target anyway, right? So I do understand that this video is coming across kind of bearish. Like I said, if you are looking for that trade setup, it would have to hold right here. I do think there may be a bounce at around that $32,400 level. If you guys are interested in trading this, you can do this over on Bybit. Obviously, this is not recommended for beginners. If you want to learn how to trade on Bybit, I do have a tutorial popping up above, and we have almost $4,000 in bonuses. Just check below, check the description, check the links. Everything is there. And obviously make sure you watch the tutorial so you truly understand what you're doing before you get involved, because it is quite choppy. Now, the thing that is worrisome is that if we have a look at the stock to flow model right here, which some people call it a meme, they say it doesn't really matter. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing here. We have never seen an orange dot fall this below the actual trend. Now you can see back here in 2013, 2014, we had the orange above it. Right here, back in 2017, 2018, we kind of rode along it. We got slightly deviated from it, but for the most part, we were essentially just climbing. Whereas right here, this is looking like we are starting to fall to the wayside of the model. Now, plan B over here, he does say, June closing price 35,037, as far below stock to flow model as in January 2019. Next 6 months will make or break the stock to flow model. But as I explained in yesterday's video, if you guys had a look at the fractal analysis, history often rhymes. It doesn't necessarily repeat. Lots of people are assuming that we're going to have the exact same cycle for Bitcoin. Now, let me tell you something. When we do have the top, it is going to be a blow off top, because that's just how these cycles end. Right now, what we're looking at is something similar to what we saw in 2013. I have been saying this for months on the channel, and it does appear that that is something similar to what we're doing. Now, let's have a look one more time, okay, at some of these Fibonacci levels. So if we do go all the way back here, and we go back to 2011, and we take the, we take the top right here, and we draw it all the way down to the bottom, that's what gives us this Fibonacci retracement. Now, I already did this before the video so that we didn't have to go over it, but you can see right here, and if we have a look where the level turns blue, this is the 1.618 level for Bitcoin. Now, look what happened. Bitcoin came all the way down. We came out of the bear market. We rallied all the way up to this crazy high peak in April, okay, of 2013. And check this out, guys. From top to bottom, Bitcoin actually fell 82% all the way to the bottom, having sort of a mini bear market before then having the blast off. And from this top, we had $260, and then Bitcoin went on to climb to 1,240, where we had a mini bear cycle within a gigantic bull cycle. And as you guys can see, we perfectly tested this blue level right here, which is the 1.618 fib, okay? Moving forward, you could see that, we obviously had our blast off, and then we finished off that major cycle for Bitcoin. Now, having a look right here at the next cycle that we had for Bitcoin. So once again, taking it from the peak right here all the way back down to the bottom, following it up again, you'll notice that the same exact thing happened. We started to rally all the way up here, and then Bitcoin came down, retested the 1.618 perfectly, and then continued on its way. Now, if we have a look at what is happening today, and this is obviously something that we've been talking about, but I just want to show you guys visually what this looks like, okay? If we do the same thing, we take the top, we go all the way down to the bottom, okay? This gives us this entire Fibonacci retracement. Once again, if we follow this blue line right here across, you could see that's where we had our first bounce right here before continuing to the upside. Now, some people can argue that that was it. That was our test of the 1.618, right? And then this was the top, and now we're just dancing around this level again. Now, it has been providing some support, so what you'd want to do is maintain above this level. This level is exactly at $30,200. If we do continue to bounce to the upside, and we do start putting in some higher highs, then we can at least look for that $50,000 level. If we fall to the lower side of this, if we put in a daily candle or even a weekly candle below this level, then most likely, guys, we are going to fall down, and we are going to have a retest of some of these lower levels, and we are definitely, most likely, probably going to see a retest of what we saw way back here in 2013, like we've been talking about, where Bitcoin puts in a mini bear cycle in the middle of a giant bull cycle. Okay, so that's why the term bear market, bull market, it all depends on your time frame. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the 1 hour? Are you looking at the 4 hour? Are you looking at the daily? Are you looking at the weekly? Because as you begin to zoom out, the chart actually looks better and better and better as you zoom out. It looks worse and worse and worse as you zoom in. So if this is stressing you out, the best thing you could do is just, if you're trading, just stop, forget about it, close the app, stop looking at the portfolio, and dollar cost average. Over on Twitter, I said, sure, you could try to trade the chop, but besides, this has honestly been one of the best opportunities to accumulate Bitcoin for the long run. Even if it dips lower, just dollar cost average, sit back and let Bitcoin do its thing. Long-term hodlers have always been rewarded. Few understand this, and this is a fact. It is a non-disputable fact about Bitcoin. Look, if you bought recently, it sucks. I'm sorry. I understand you might be down, but there's no difference in dollar cost averaging on the way down as it is on the way up. Ultimately, if your goal is to hold Bitcoin long term, then we have seen that statistically, anyone who has ever bought Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin, as long as you held for 3.5 years, and I'm saying 3.5 years because I'm talking about buying absolute tops for Bitcoin, like I bought the $1,000 top. I bought the $13,000 top. I bought the $20,000 top. And sure enough, guys, for those of you who might have even bought the $65,000 top this time, we know that history proves that Bitcoin is designed, it is mathematically designed to go up over time, but it is also one of the most volatile assets on planet Earth. And I can also tell just by, the engagement on this, only 230 likes, that's actually quite low, believe it or not, for Twitter. We were getting, hundreds of retweets, thousands of likes before, and you could see that sentiment is low. People are losing faith. They're scared. They're selling. They're feeling hopeless. They're seeing their portfolios down. But from someone who's been in this for 5 years, if you're worried right now, I can assure you with my 5 years of knowledge in the space that Bitcoin will be all right. If you believe in it, if you believe in the protocol, and you truly understand the power of what Bitcoin has to offer and how it is literally the best asset on planet Earth. I mean, what else is better than Bitcoin? We have already gone over gold. We know that, bonds have their problems. Real estate even has its problems, right? Bitcoin is fundamentally designed to be the greatest store of value, censorship resistant, and you guys know the spiel. So that is essentially what I wanted to bring to you guys today. I know I went over a lot, and I know people in the comments are going to say, so it's going to go up, it's going to go down, or it's going to go sideways. Haha, very funny, right? But seriously, yeah, okay, it is going to do one of those three things. But I want you to be able to understand that ultimately, even if Bitcoin does go lower from this point, it is literally just designed to go up in value, guys. And you are seeing countries hop on board, nations hop on board, institutions hop on board. Germany, getting on board, allowing all these different banks and institutions to get involved, opening the doors to more people across the world. So guys, that's essentially where I'm going to leave this video for you today. If there's anything that, maybe you were confused about or you didn't quite understand, just add this video to your favorites, over the weekend. I don't know how things are going to trade over the holiday. I know the weekends can get a little bit crazy, but these are the levels that we're looking at. Ultimately, I am still bullish on Bitcoin because as long as Bitcoin continues to maintain this upwards trend, there really isn't anything to worry about. But short-term drops like 54%, I can 100% sympathize with why that could be scary, especially if you're new to the crypto space. But I will tell you before I go, guys, I am not worried. And like I said, if you're freaking out right now, this level that we're at has been a phenomenal opportunity for accumulation. And I can guarantee you that in a year or two from now, we're going to look back on this level and be kicking ourselves that we didn't accumulate more at such an amazing time for this opportunity to get all of this Bitcoin at these levels, because that's how it goes, guys. I mean, I remember when Bitcoin was, sitting at 10,000 and everybody thought that was the end. And then all of a sudden it went to, 20 again. And people were like, oh man, I wish I bought more at 10, right? People wish they had bought more at 3, but no, what were they doing? They were panic selling. So essentially, guys, that is it for me today. I hope I covered everything. I hope this video was good for you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to make short-term updates, so I'm not going to be calling these trades up and down, you know what I mean? I wanted to give you a nice, clean overview of exactly what is happening for Bitcoin right now. And, you know, getting back to the short-term chart, yeah, we do need to hold above this $32,400 level, or we do risk falling lower. And if I clean this chart up super quick, final thoughts. You know, falling out of this channel right here, yes, it will bring us back to the bottom of this channel. Yes, we most likely will see Bitcoin hit around $24,000, $25,000. And to the upside, if we do have Bitcoin break to the upside, we do have this downward sloping resistance, and it's going to be a lot for Bitcoin to get through, right? So that's it for me today, guys. Ultimately, if you want to know whether or not we're technically in a bull or a bear market, we're technically in a bear trend because we're below the 200 daily moving average. Getting above that would put us technically back in the bull trend, the bull market, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, Bitcoin has been, if you zoom out and just look at the yearly, look at the monthly, Bitcoin has been in a consistent bull run. Literally, it's never not been in a bull run for the past 12 years of its existence, but we do have this turbulence on the daily. So looking at it every single day, it could freak you out. Long term, things are looking bright for Bitcoin. Hope you guys found some value out of this video. If you did, share it with a friend, give me a like, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Maybe you have a different opinion on the markets. Maybe you think we're just going to have an instant blast off reversal, or maybe you're doom and gloom and you think we're going to go to zero, which that is not the case. I will tell you that is not going to happen. There's way too much happening for Bitcoin right now for that to ever happen. But that's it for me today, guys. I have rambled on enough. This was a long enough video. Thank you so much for sticking around all the way to the end. I want you guys to know how much I really appreciate all of your support. You mean so much to me. You really do. You guys are like family. You're the reason that I make these videos. Truthfully, I love the community. I love connecting with you. And at the end of the day, the hodlers, the long-term hodlers, are always going to be the winners on top. So stack Bitcoin, not financial advice, but you know how I feel about it. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. If you haven't got subscribed yet, definitely consider it. My name is K Dub. This is CryptoZombie. And of course, guys, if you have not seen these videos popping up right here, right now, check them out, click them, and that is it for me. See you next time. Until then, peace out.